that moved next door is Puerto Rican.
That's it. That's it. There goes the neighborhood. You can't be too nice in Puerto Rican. Next thing you know, it'll be another Puerto Rican family moving here, and then another one, and another one. And then what you got? Harlem West.
Hardly any Puerto Ricans in Los Angeles.
Well, they'll ship men from New York. The Puerto Ricans run down every neighborhood they get into. They're Puerto Rican cockroaches.
He gave me a dish of some stuff that was terrific, Pop. It's called mofongo.
Mofongo? If somebody gave me mofongo, I'd sprinkle some foot powder on it. And next thing you know, he'd have a yard full of chickens.
What's the matter, Mr. Stanford? You got something against chickens?
Not really.
Maybe you got something against goats, huh?
No.
No? Well, then maybe, Mr. Stanford, you got something against Puerto Ricans, huh?
Now you got it. Hey, what are you doing with a goat anyway? When they say you're a dog? Or is that just a Puerto Rican poodle? I only like American cheese, and you can't get American cheese from a Puerto Rican goat.
Wait a minute. And I got a lot of friends, and I fix all their cars.
Yeah, Puerto Rican cars, but you don't know nothing about American cars.
Here you are, gentlemen. A nice cold pitcher of sangria.
Ah, gracias, negro.
What'd you call him?
I call him negro. It's a very common thing. It's a friendly way of talking to each other in Spanish. What do we call ourselves?
You look like no Negro to me.
You know what's crazy to me? I grew up in the era of Sanford and Son, the Jeffersons, All in the Family, the golden age of let's hide racism behind comedy. Back then, people laughed at things that would get you canceled today. Puerto Ricans, Black people, anyone who wasn't the default. The jokes were nonstop. Now, don't get me started with the Jeffersons because I love the Jeffersons, and of course I laughed, and I'm also Puerto Rican. So I grew up here in Puerto Rican like it was a punchline. And at some point as a kid, I just remember thinking to myself, why do we talk to each other, or why do we talk about each other like this? Why are we laughing at our own people? Why is pain entertainment? And why is degradation a joke? And honestly, that era never fully ended. You know, people think that racism has evolved, but some of y'all just learned to whisper it now instead of saying it on prime TV. We are still carrying the same ignorance, the same stereotypes, the same jokes, the same harmless comedy. But now it's under the disguise of culture, tradition, and that's just how I grew up. Now, just because we grew up with it doesn't mean that we have to continue it. Here's the truth that we don't like to admit. Now, some people still think that belittling other cultures is funny. Some people still think that repeating jokes that they inherited from their grandparents who grew up in segregation is still funny. And some people still don't know how to talk to each other without a stereotype attached. But we are the generation that breaks the cycle. We are the ones who can watch an old clip and recognize the problem instead of repeating it. We are the ones that are saying, I refuse to talk about my people like that. I refuse to normalize ignorance. I refuse to keep outdated programming alive. Because every time that you speak differently, every time you choose respect over ridicule, every time you break the habit of inherited ignorance, you're not just changing your own mindset, you're shifting the entire timeline of your bloodline. And while we're on the topic of identity, let me just say something that might trigger people and ruffle a few feathers. Do we really think that wearing a Puerto Rican flag makes us the walking embodiment of Puerto Rican culture? Growing up, that flag was everywhere, is everywhere, in cars, t-shirts, windows, earrings, bandanas. And it's not just the Puerto Ricans, it's every culture. And listen, there's nothing wrong with loving your roots. Pero, dame un momento. Here's the truth. A flag is just a symbol. It's not a soul. Now, some people scream, I'm proud of my culture, but then they treat their people with disrespect. They'll wave a flag louder than they'll heal the wound. And they rep an island louder than they'll rep unity. And that's when it hit me. We think that we are representing our culture, but really most of the time we're representing our conditioning. Because if you strip away the flags and the borders and the labels, what do we have? One collective, one consciousness wearing different skins, speaking different languages, living different experiences. But underneath it all, we're mirrors, reflecting each other's humanity or a lack of it. Okay, so this isn't about being sensitive. This is about being awake. If someone can watch a joke from the 70s and still think like the 70s, then that's not humor. That is unhealed identity. And we're not doing that anymore. We're elevating. We are remembering who we are. We are honoring our people, all people, without needing to tear anyone down. And this is how the collective evolves. Now, let me leave you with this thought. If every single one of us suddenly removed the meat suit, removed the skin, every color, every shade, every race is gone, what would we be? A bunch of bodies, cells, blood, muscle, heartbeat, energy, all identical, all human, all the same. So strip away the skin and suddenly there's nothing left to judge, nothing left to hate, and nothing left to separate. And that is the truth that nobody wants to sit with. The only thing keeping us divided is the illusion. When you can see through it, you can't unsee it. That is how we wake up the collective, one realization at a time. That's it for me. I hope this helps. Jeanette out. Namaste.